coverage more on the family that is grieving the loss of a life and those waiting to hear about the conditions of their loved ones, we go now to Jay Kashmir. He has the very latest as we continue our coverage. Jay?
Yeah, good evening, Michael, from Lawnwood Regional Medical Center, not far from where you are standing right now. The full scope of this tragedy came full circle this morning when we learned 29-year-old Nikisha Bryant had succumbed to her injuries. She was shot in the pelvis and stomach at last night's event. She was rushed here to the hospital, underwent emergency surgery, but her brother, Calvin Bethel, caught up with us earlier today, confirming the news that his sister had in fact died earlier this morning. He described her as full of life, always with a smile, carrying lots of energy, and of course providing for her 9-year-old daughter. Sadly and tragically, her 9-year-old was with her at the time of this shooting. Right now the family is in mourning. He's speaking on behalf of the family. They're trying to come to grips with what happened and trying to figure out a way to tell this 9-year-old girl that her mother will no longer return home right now. For now, the family is staying together and trying to understand exactly what happened, especially on a day when they were celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. More from Calvin Bethel right now on that part.
For it to happen on Martin Luther King Day, that's wild to me. Like, it shouldn't happen on any day, but this day specifically, even, and this place had a bounce house of all things, I don't know how to put that. It's Martin Luther King Day. You wouldn't expect someone to bring a fully loaded gun to a children's park.
Calvin said he's absolutely embarrassed by what happened last night, and again, they're still in shock. They're trying to absorb what happened here and stay together as a family. Right now, no arrangements have been made. I know they're working on a celebration of life at some point for Nikisha. Nikisha was a local hairdresser. She was a hairstylist. She knew a lot of people around here and was a proud Fort Pierce Central graduate. So as news spread around this community, a lot of people today in mourning, especially on a new year and on a day that was supposed to be celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King that turned tragic.
A Kansas City woman is back home after a rock crashed through her windshield last month. She ended up in the ICU, and now she's talking about her experience.
I honestly almost lost my life that night.
Tonight, she's pleading with whoever threw the rock to come forward. KSHB 41's Xian Kim sat down with her in an emotional interview as she continues to recover at home.
When you have a near-death experience, it kind of just changes your outlook on life.
27-year-old Eva Kearney is still putting the pieces back together. What happened to me? What do I remember about the night of December 13th?
When it first happened, I thought that I had been shot in the head because that's what it sounded like.
Kearney was driving home from work later than usual when a rock crashed through her windshield. Take a look at these photos she shared with us today. You can see clear damage to the driver's side of the glass and a first look at the actual asphalt that hit her.
When I did wake up from being knocked out after those few minutes, I could sense that there was someone around my car, but I never actually saw anyone.
Kearney feels she was in the wrong place at the wrong time and believes it was a senseless act of violence by a stranger. She's now left to deal with the emotional and physical injuries to her skull, left eye, and nose, which will lead her down a long path to recovery.
I do need to release these emotions so that I can heal properly.
KCPD wasn't able to share additional details of the investigation, but Kearney told us authorities are hoping for camera footage or DNA analysis from the rock.
I'm not sure why you did this or what your end game was in this, but I mean, I honestly almost lost my life that night, and I would hate to see this happen to anyone else, so please just stop.
Xian Kim, KSHB 41 News.
On the couch when someone shot and killed her, and now more than 4 years later, that killer is still free. As News Channel 5's Emily Luxon explains, the woman's mother wants to make sure her daughter is never forgotten and believes with your help, answers will come.
And this is her when she was like in junior high.
Pat Madry cherishes every photo she has of her daughter, Savitri Lyons.
We miss her, you know, her laughing and cooking especially. And she was just always fun.
When the 48-year-old mother and grandmother's life was cut short, her family was heartbroken.
I'm not going to ever hear her laugh again. You know, we're not going to ever have another family, quote unquote, dinner.
Metro Police say early in the morning on October 13th, 2018, Savitri was taking a nap on the couch at her daughter's home on Providence Park Lane when a car drove by and fired several shots inside. Savitri was hit in the stomach and later died from her injuries. 7 other people were in the home at the time, including her 5 young grandchildren. No one else was hurt.
But we do not believe that Savitri was the intended target for the shooting.
The sad thing about this is with the 5 children there, they saw their grandmother dying on the floor, you know.
Metro Police say someone also shot at the house just 2 weeks earlier. No one was hurt, but they believe the 2 incidents are connected.
This is somebody that's just extremely reckless, has absolutely no regard for human life at all, that you're willing to risk killing kids just to get even with someone else.
Investigators have identified some persons of interest in the case, but Detective Matthew Filter says they need more evidence to connect them to the crime. Metro Police and Savitri's family hope someone will come forward with information that helps.
You may think you don't know anything, but whatever you do know, you should tell, because it may be the missing piece of the puzzle that they need.
Pat doesn't want another family to experience the loss she has and wants the violence to stop.
Whoever did this, he, she, whoever, is still out there. You know, they can be shooting up somebody else's house, killing somebody else.
She hopes one day that person will be caught and she will find peace.
I feel like they need to be brought to justice. She needs to have justice, you know, for who did this to her.
Emily Luxon, News Channel 5.
In jail tonight for allegedly shooting his girlfriend in the head.
Keita Albert Jr. is accused of shooting his girlfriend Alexis Falcon on Sunday. ABC 13's Maya Shea is live in the Harris County Jail with the latest information.
Yeah, it's such a tragic and sad situation. I've spoken to a number of family members earlier today. They were too distraught to talk on camera, but they have been sharing stories about Alexis Falcon, who is now dead. They lovingly called her Lexi. She was just 23 years old and worked at McDonald's. Family members did share a photo of Lexi with me in a way. They said this really captures her spirit. The young woman lived at home with her mother, grandmother, and extended family in the family home, and it was at that home on Delbo Street that Lexi was shot and killed over the weekend. Prosecutors have charged her boyfriend, 21-year-old Keita Albert Jr., with her murder. Family members tell me that he and Falcon were inside her bedroom when she was shot, apparently in the face. But for now, they do not know a motive. The family says the couple have been dating for years, off and on, since high school. Now, Albert Jr. is in jail. Currently, he has no bond. He was out previously on bond and charged in another case, in an unrelated case of aggravated assault. I talked to the attorney in that case. He says he doesn't yet know if he will be representing Albert Jr. in a murder case, but did confirm that he will not be going anywhere. He will be staying behind bars at least until his next court appearance, which is scheduled for next week. We're live downtown. Maya Shea, ABC 13.
Police are investigating a deadly accident involving at least 2 of their officers.
Yes, it happened on the Southwest Freeway Service Road near Wilcrest. As officers were responding to a call at that time. ABC 13's Charlie Etzedy joining us now live from that scene. Charlie.
Good morning, Jacob. Well, the investigation has since cleared up here again on the northbound side of the Southwest Freeway feeder road between Wilcrest and Belford. And so everything is back open, but the actual crash happened several feet down the service road from where we are standing right now. And so we know from investigators with HPD that this crash happened just after midnight. And so you can see some of the damage to the patrol unit that our ABC 13 cameras captured overnight. And the damage is mostly on the front passenger side of that vehicle. So there were 2 police officers inside of that car. The one driving has 2 years with the department. The other, the passenger, has 1 year. And it doesn't sound like either of those officers were hurt during this accident. So they were responding to a call for more units at the scene of a double shooting that happened over on Bissonnet and South Gessner, about 3 miles down the road from this accident scene. So investigators explained that the patrol car did not have lights or sirens activated because, they explained here, the call was not a code 1 emergency call. So these officers were basically making their way over to that shooting scene for additional help. And so take a listen here. This is how investigators believe that woman was hit.
appears to be a situation of officers driving on the service road, and the female appears to have stepped off the curb. The female appears to be in her 40s, Hispanic female. We do not have her name at this time.
All right, so you just heard there from an assistant chief with HPD who says that Houston Fire did arrive out here on scene and did pronounce her dead out here. And so we know that HPD, along with the district attorney's office, they are both conducting separate and independent investigations, trying to piece together exactly what happened out here. As for the two police officers that were involved, both of them have been placed on administrative duty, which is pretty typical for situations like this. So, of course, more to come on these investigations. We'll keep you updated. We're live from Southwest Houston. Charlie Edsity, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Grisly discovery in Grand Prairie.
I seen the rangers and dogs.
The final piece in the puzzle of Kayla Kelly's disappearance.
It looks like it led up to here.
The 33-year-old found in a shallow grave just minutes from the home of the man charged with kidnapping her. That man, O'Caster Ferguson.
It's an absolute tragedy, her death. But these investigators, they were bound and determined that we would find her.
Kelly reported missing on January the 11th per investigators, that she was dating Ferguson and recently found out he was married. Detectives say Kelly told friends she was going to blackmail Ferguson. Court documents read Kelly even threatened to tell his wife about their affair if he doesn't answer her via text. Her car found abandoned and burned in Frisco a day after she was reported missing. Investigators tracked Ferguson's phone to that area and jailed him on kidnapping charges days ago, but Kelly still missing. That is until she was found here. Investigators not revealing what led them to this wooded area.
You know, people buy the story. They buy the line.
Police say Kelly and Ferguson met online, that he gave her a fake name and dated for months.
Sometimes these individuals that are on the other end of the communication device are not rational, and they are capable of killing.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a law enforcement expert helping train FBI agents. He says a case like this underscores the importance.
So it's not just a matter of being disappointed or heartbroken, it's a matter of life and death.
Of knowing who you date. In Grand Prairie, I'm Matt Howard.
Daughter, you know what I'm saying? This concerned neighbor hopes the family of a 16-year-old girl gets the answers they want about her death. Dallas police found teenager Venus Rodriguez near his home. After hearing this, pow, 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 from his living room at home near the corner of Circle and Brookhaven Drive, he stayed inside, especially since it happened in the middle of the night.
2 o'clock and 2:30, I heard shots, which is not unusual in this neighborhood. But I didn't think nothing of it, you know, and then the next morning I saw they had everything blocked off, and they said they were doing an investigation.
Although he wants to remain anonymous, our concerned neighbor also shared he learned a work crew called 911 around 10 a.m. Monday after discovering a body in the Wooded Creek area along Brookhaven. Officers arrived and found the teen dead from multiple gunshots.
Wow, you know, what's going on, you know what I'm saying? A 16-year-old, and I'm still kind of, you know, messed up behind it now, you know, that somebody done lost their kid.
The lead detective tells WFAA he needs the public's help learning the last time anyone saw Venus alive, who she was with, and where she was living due to her reported runaway status.
Please come forward and, you know, help this family, because I know they want some closure.
In Dallas, I'm Scoop Jefferson.